Hello, little friends. So, you are back again to your story classes? Very good. All of you are most welcome. So, let's start today with a small chant. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Om. May we both, the teacher and the students, be protected. May we both be nourished. May we work together with great energy. May our study be effective. Let there be no enmity amongst us. Om, peace, peace, peace. Peace in me, peace in nature, peace in the divine forces. Hari Om. Well, I hope you are ready to listen to more stories now. What I will do, I will start with a question. Have you ever come across a student of your age, maybe your classmate, who has inspired you a lot? A student who is extraordinary? Do you want to be his or her friend and follow him or her in every possible way? I hope you will like to do that. Then listen to the story of a little boy, even younger than you, who became a great leader of men and was adored by the whole world. His name was Narendranath Datta. Hope you are rightly guessing about whom I am going to speak today. Yes. See, I will give you a little introduction. Stories are usually fiction. The incidents may have happened, the incidents may not have happened. But today I am going to tell you real incidents from the life of a real person who became a great leader, and everything about him is true, real. His life from his early childhood or from before his birth has been well documented. What you are going to hear now, everything has really happened. At the same time, the stories are very interesting. When you grow up, you will find phrases like truth is stranger than fiction. Fiction means imaginary story. Actually, real life incidents are much more amazing than you can imagine. So today and in the coming weeks, I am going to tell you stories about this Narendra. Naren for short. Most of you want to become a leader when you grow up, don't you? The leadership was natural in Naren, and very early in his life, he demonstrated this trait. Among his friends, he was the undisputed leader. His favorite game was King and his court. He would assume the role of the king and run to take the topmost step in the staircase. Tick, 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 tick. He would sit there. From there he would shout, I am the Samrat, the king of kings. Then he would assign duties to his friends sitting on the lower steps, who would be given the parts of ministers, commander of soldiers, and their officials. He would administer justice with dignity. To his courtiers, he would show anger if his courtiers would not listen to him, and his behavior justified the name he had, Narendra, the Lord of men. Nara, Indra, the Lord of men, Narendra. Mind you, this was all in play. I will give you an example of how he was showing his leadership quality in real life situation too from his early childhood. When he was only 6, he went to an exhibition with an younger cousin, 4-year-old perhaps, and he bought images of Shiva. On their way back, they became slightly separated. Suddenly, hearing terrified cries of the crowd, he looked around. To his horror, he saw that a horse carriage was coming dashing along the road, and his cousin, the small one, was standing petrified at the middle of the road. Petrified, you know? The little boy became like a stone in fear. He was unable to move. He was just about to be run over by the galloping horses. Seeing this, Naren rushed to the child's help. He did not think of his own safety at all. He put his idols under his left arm and ran to the middle of the road. Grabbing the child with his right hand, he pulled him out from almost the horse's hoofs. There were so many people there on the spot, but they did not run for the child's assistance. Now, when everything became normal, they patted Naren for his extraordinary courage, and some blessed him also. Can you guess what his mother did when she heard the incident? She wept in joy and in happiness and in pride and said, "Always be a man, my son." See, like mother, like son. Understand? When you want to be a true leader, you have to have this helping attitude, even taking the risk of your own life. See, you have read about heroes who made India proud when they grew up. Do you ever wonder how they behaved when they were your age? Were they naughty like you and me? Can you imagine how mischievous this Naren was in his childhood? I will tell you a little about his background first. Narendra was blessed with wonderful parents. He was much influenced by his mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi. She was very dignified, very beautiful, efficient, pious, and had extraordinary memory. By her graceful royal nature, she commanded the respect of all who came in her contact. Bhuvaneshwari Devi worshipped a lot and fasted and prayed to Vireshwar Shiva of Varanasi to give her a son with noble qualities. Understood? Then one night she had a vivid dream. She saw Lord Shiva rouse himself from his meditation and take the form of a lovely male child who was to be her son. She was thus assured that her prayers and fasting are going to be fulfilled. Naren was born to her. This Naren was full of energy, and so he was quite unmanageable in his early childhood. As Naren grew up to be very naughty, the mother used to complain. I had prayed to Shiva to bless me with a son, but he has sent me one of his demons. Demons, you know, Bhoot. Let me tell you some incidents to show how naughty he was. Sometimes Naren grew extremely restless. He used to tease his two elder sisters. The furious sisters would chase him. He would jump into the open drain and challenge them, "Catch me, catch me." He would grin and make faces from that safe refuge, making the sisters even more angry. The girls could not jump into the drain like this naughty boy. So there would be so much chaos in the family then. Everybody running, everybody shouting. I think you are familiar with such situation in your own homes too. Younger brothers never get tired of irritating elder sisters continuously, isn't it? Okay, let us proceed. Sitting on his mother's lap, Naren learned the stories of epics and Puranas from her. Listening to such stories, Naren developed a great fascination for wandering monks. He used to give them away whatever he could lay his hands on. Thereafter, whenever a monk came to their home begging for alms, Naren would be locked in a room so that he couldn't give away any more things. But even then, he used to throw his mother's costly saris out of the window as an offering to the holy man. It was really difficult to stop him from doing mischief. But just see what a loving heart he had from his early childhood. All such actions made him the great hero later in life. Naren used to sit in front of a Shiva idol and think that he had been sent away from Lord Shiva because he was naughty. Sometimes he would wear an ochre loin cloth like the wandering monks and cry in delight, "See, I am Shiva, I am Shiva." Seeing this, his mother soon found out a way to handle him. Whenever Naren acted mischievous, she would pour a bucketful of water on his head and say, "Shiva, Shiva, if you behave like this, Shiva won't let you go back to him in Kailash." Immediately, Naren would calm down and become his usual joyous self, like he was very adorable boy, like that he would become, and answer, "Will Shiva let me go back to him if I am good?" His mother would say, "Yes." Thus, from his mother, he learned how to love God, knowing him to be the best support in life. Throughout his life, whenever he was restless, Naren used to think of Shiva. Childhood habits die hard, you see. When he grew up and became world famous, even then he used to say, "Even now, when I feel mischievous, that word keeps me straight." See? From his boyhood, he was a daredevil. There was a garden nearby where Naren and his friends used to pass their time dangling from trees. Naren was particularly fond of a champaka tree because its flowers were used for worship of Shiva. Once, when he was swinging head down from this tree, an old gentleman arrived there. He told Naren not to climb the trees again. Naren asked the reason. Why shouldn't I climb? So the old man answered, "Because a Brahmadaita lives in the tree." Brahmadaita, you know, ghost of a Brahmin. So the old man said, "A Brahmadaita lives in the tree. At night he goes about dressed in white and breaks the neck of people who climb the tree." The old man went off in triumph, thinking that the boys would be scared now to climb the trees again. But as soon as he was out of sight, Naren climbed the tree again. His friends were very scared. They were truly scared that Brahmadaita would break their necks. So they tried to stop Naren also. But Naren laughed and replied, "Don't believe anything just because someone tells you. If the old grandfather's story were true, my neck would have been broken long ago." See how rational he was. In his later life, he used to tell people, "Do not believe everything just because someone has said so. Find out the truth for yourself." This incident shows his courage and independence of thought and his action, everything. Like this, he was becoming a leader of men. Naren belonged to a rich family and they had numerous servants in the household. Among them, the coachman, the horse driver, was Naren's special idol, hero. The ambition of his childhood was to become the coachman because, to his childhood imagination, the coachman was the most magnificent person in the world. With his turban and grand dress and the whip with which he controlled the horses. Naren made the stable his headquarters and watched the works intently throughout the days. And how he loved the horses! His childhood love of horses and his appreciation of the coachman as the man in charge of things lasted all his life. Why? You can understand. Wasn't he destined to take charge of the masses and justify his name Narendra, the person in charge of men? Sometimes, storytellers tell stories which the young listeners believe fully. When they try them out, they become disappointed. Naren faced disappointments too, which broke his heart and made him cry a lot. He heard that the mango grove was Hanuman, the monkey god's favorite haunt. He was anxious to meet him and asked the narrator, "Shall I be able to see him if I go there?" To the child's question, the narrator simply said, "Yes, of course. Why not go and see? Find out for yourself." And Naren believed completely, and he stayed back in the banana grove for a long time, hoping to see Hanuman. He sat and was terribly disappointed as Hanuman did not come, obviously. Another time, Naren heard from the storyteller that if one meditated well, he would grow long matted hair, which would enter the earth like the roots of the banyan tree. Believing it wholeheartedly, he sat for meditation, once in a long while opening his eyes a little to check if he had grown long matted hair. You too must have had similar disappointing experiences. Obviously, matted hair won't come out just like that. Because this happened to you and to all children like Naren, because young children believe the storytellers and try to make those things happen in their real lives. But you see, such experiences make up the sweetness of growing up days, don't they? So, we proceed with our story. Naren began his studies when he was 6 years old. He did not go to school at first, since his parents arranged for a tutor to teach him at home. He learned to read and write rather quickly because he was a bright boy. He had a peculiar style of learning lessons. While the teacher read out the spellings, pronunciations, meanings, etc., of the portion to be studied, Naren would lay himself down as if sleeping with his eyes closed. The teacher would read out as if he himself was learning the lesson. But it would be enough for Naren to learn them. Initially, the teacher was provoked by this seemingly uncaring attitude of Narendra. He got very angry and caught hold of Narendra, shook him rudely, and angrily asked him to repeat what he had taught. Naren looked at his teacher with wounded surprise, and as a measure of self-defense, recited word for word the whole text that the teacher had read out in the past 1 hour. Never again the teacher questioned his sincerity. And actually later in life, the teacher used to speak to people about Naren's tremendous memory, and with so much appreciation he used to do that. Yes, Naren's memory was extraordinary. Later in life, he could recite the entire volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica, word to word. Can you imagine? Same with whatever he read. He never forgot anything. Then, when he was 7, he joined school, and he soon turned into a leader of his classmates. And as some of you do many times, Naren turned the classroom into something like a playground. He would talk to his friends and tell them stories even while the teacher was present. One day, the teacher saw them talking and asked Naren and his friends to repeat the lesson that was being taught. Naren had no difficulty with this whatsoever, since he was able to listen to the lesson and talk to his friends at the same time. He answered all the questions correctly. Then the teacher asked the group about this, who had been talking about the group who had been talking with Naren. So they could not answer any question. The teacher asked the group about who had been talking about among them. The boys pointed to Naren. The teacher wouldn't believe them. The teacher made them stand as punishment. Naren too joined his friends in standing, taking the punishment. The teacher told him that he need not stand, but Naren was firm. He said, "I must stand, for it was I who was talking." See, own up to your naughty deeds and never play the blame game, because that makes a leader. Once, Naren and his friends visited a zoo near Calcutta. They went there by boat, and on their way back, one of his friends got sick and vomited in the boat. The boatman got very angry upon seeing this mess and ordered the children to clean the boat. The boys offered to pay double the fare, but the boatman wouldn't listen. Instead, they only shouted some more at the boys and did not allow them to get down at the bank of the river. Unless you clean the boat, you can't get down. Then what happened? Naren spotted two British soldiers walking on the shore. He swiftly jumped off the boat and ran towards them for help. In broken English, because he was a small boy, in broken English, he told them about the situation, and slipping his small hands into theirs, he led them to the scene. They figured out what had happened and sternly ordered the boatmen to let the boys go. Seeing the soldiers itself, the boatmen were very frightened. So they let the boys go immediately. Thus, Naren's presence of mind saved the kids from unpleasant consequences. You see, he was a leader or not. There is a saying, morning shows the day. By observing the qualities manifested in a child, one can have a preview of his future life. As Naren's story shows, great men have the same childhood feelings and experiences as anybody else does, but they have more positive traits than others. And yes, you too can become a hero one day if you follow his ideas and the lessons he learned from his experiences in his childhood. Okay, then we finish today's session with the chant. If you know the chant already, you can follow me. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Hari Om Tat Sat.